Imagine finding that person, the one person you cannot picture yourself ever living without, the one person you want to grow old with, the person you see raising children with. You imagine the perfect wedding and how you're going to spend the rest of your life together. Now imagine being told that you cannot marry the person you love, you cannot legally be responsible for your children, or that you're not legally entitled to the life you built together if they pass away. That is what same-sex couples go through. They are not allowed to legally marry in the state of Ohio and must travel to states that accept it to marry, only to have their union not recognized in their home state. If their partner dies, they cannot legally do anything with the life they built together. Today I'm going to share with you a few stories from same-sex couple that I know and a lesbian that I know. A few of the over 1,000 laws same-sex couples are denied, and statistics involving LGBT youth today. Steve Snyder-Hill, Joshua Snyder-Hill, and Jennifer Tyrrell are three people that I feel absolutely blessed to know and are one of the main reasons I support equality. Steve was booed during a video question he submitted for a GOP debate a few years back. Steve and Josh are friends of mine and have been together for a while. Steve is in the Army, and before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, he and Josh had to hide their relationship from their friends. When Steve was being deployed, there was a time where they had to hide under an escalator just to say their goodbyes and risk being seen. When Steve's Army buddies would come over to their house, they would have to hide all their pictures so no one could see them and pretend to be brothers, friends, cousins, old college roommates, anything but partners. When they got married, they had to go to Washington, D.C. to get married because Ohio does not allow same-sex marriages. Even though they are married, Ohio does not recognize it and would not allow them to change their names. They spent a lot of time fighting with the courts to change their names. They had to fill out stacks of papers, have an ad printed in their paper announcing they wanted to change their name, and were even told that their best chance of getting their names changed was to lie and put anything except because they were married as their reasoning behind the name change. A straight couple would never have to go through so many hoops just to hyphenate their name. Every single day, Steve and Josh still have to decide whether or not to come out of the closet and possibly make people uncomfortable or just pretend to be something they are not. They have to worry about what would happen if one gets sick or dies because they are denied certain rights that a straight couple is not. They both risk losing their jobs for being openly gay, as well as being refused service in a restaurant for being openly gay. Adopting a child is hard for them as well because most states do not and will not recognize two adoptive parents of a same-sex couple. They have been interviewed many times on their stand for equality. They started a Facebook page called Marriage Evolved. They created the Sea Bus of Love while they would take 25 couples to Washington, D.C. to get married. They have also had their story put in the National Archives as an official part of American history. Jennifer Tyrrell was a den leader for her son's Boy Scout troop and loved being able to use that time to spend with her son and help him grow with the morals and standards the Scouts had to offer. That quickly changed for her when she received a letter in the mail from the Boy Scouts telling her that she could no longer be a part of the Scouts. All because she was a lesbian. The Boy Scouts do not allow gay members and have revoked memberships and Eagle Awards to those that are openly gay. Since being removed from the Scouts, she has spoken at GLAAD Awards, rode in a float with George Takei in the New York Pride Parade in 2012, and has helped raise over 340,000 signatures in a petition to get the Boy Scouts to change their policy. She has also been interviewed multiple times. I met Jennifer in March of 2012. That was the first time I heard her story, and I knew I just had to learn more. Same-sex marriage, domestic partnerships, and civil unions are three completely different things. Not every state accepts one or two. There's no states that accept all three. There's some states that don't accept any of them. According to Equality Maine, a domestic partnership is the lowest level of recognition there is for a relationship, and the rights for that partnership change from state to state, if the state provides the rights at all. The rights are very minimal and are not recognized outside of the home state where the partnership was done. A civil union has the potential to not be recognized outside of the home state as well. Therefore, if something medically happened while traveling, one or the other partner would not be allowed to make decisions for treatment. A civil marriage allows same-sex couples a little more protection by being able to construct a will to protect each other, healthcare proxies, and co-parent adoptions. Also, according to Make It Legal, married couples tend to live longer, are healthier, wealthier, and happy. There is financial safety, long-term emotional security, and broader circles of extended family. They are more responsible with one another and within their own lives, yet same-sex couples are still denied over 1,000 rights that come automatically for their heterosexual counterparts. Same-sex partners are denied the right to make decisions during a medical emergency and would have to accept the decisions of their partner's family. Same-sex couples are denied the right to leave work to take care of their sick partner or the parent of their sick partner. Same-sex couples are denied the right to marital immigration privileges. Same-sex couples are denied their right and responsibilities to children brought into the family by birth, adoption, surrogacy, or fostering. Only the partner who is named the guardian has legal rights. Same-sex couples are denied the right to equally share jointly held property in the event of death or a breakup. Same-sex couples are denied family-related benefits such as medical insurance, life insurance, military benefits, and other military benefits, marital benefits automatically given to heterosexual couples. Same-sex couples are denied the right to inherit property from their partner without having a will. In most states, even those with state-recognized marriages, one partner's income could keep the other partner from receiving needs-based benefits such as disability income, state-funded scholarships, and housing assistance. Unfortunately, the LGBT youth deal with bullying and assault in school. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a survey was done in 2009 of more than 7,000 LGBT youth from the age of 13 to 21 and found that because of their sexual orientation, 8 out of 10 were verbally harassed, 9 out of 10 were physically harassed, 6 out of 10 felt unsafe in school, and 2 out of 10 were victims of physical assault. The LGBT youth are also at a higher risk of suicidal thoughts and behaviors than their straight counterparts and twice as likely to attempt suicide. There was another survey done of more than 7,000 7th and 8th graders, which found that the LGBT youth were more likely to report higher levels of bullying and substance abuse. The ones that were questioned about their sexual orientation also reported more bullying, homophobic victimization, more unexcused absences from school, drug use, depression, and suicidal behaviors. Those that were not questioned about their sexual orientation did not suffer from depression and suicidal behaviors as badly as their peers that were questioned. An article by Tim Murphy for The Advocate states that the CDC found between 2003 and 2004 the suicide rate within LGBT youth aged 10 to 24 rose 8%, the biggest rise in 15 years. Tim also writes in his article that the Trevor Project, which is a hotline for LGBT youth, receives over 12,000 calls a year. There are things that the school and parents can do to help the LGBT youth to feel safer. The youth need to feel safe socially, emotionally, and physically. They also need to feel like they have support from their schools. Schools need to keep the atmosphere positive, and it will help decrease the risk of depression, suicidal thoughts, drug use, and absences. The schools need to and can create clear policies, procedures, and activities designed to cut down on negative activities and violence in their school. The schools can encourage respect for every single student in the school, create safe spaces for the LGBT youth to go to for support from the staff, add materials to sexual education classes geared towards the LGBT youth, train the staff on how to create a safe environment for students, create access to providers who have experience in providing psychological and social services for the LGBT youth. Parents should be willing to talk openly with their kids about all problems and concerns in their life and in school to make sure to keep an eye on changes in behavior. If the parent notices bullying, violence, or depression, they should take immediate action by working with school staff and other adults in their community to ensure safety. How a parent reacts to their LGBT youth has a major impact on the youth's mental health, even in the future. Because of some negative reactions, LGBT youth are at a greater risk of being kicked out of the house and becoming homeless. The LGBT youth also that receive higher levels of rejection from their parents are, as an adult, 6 times more likely to have depression, 8 times as likely to attempt suicide, 3 times as likely to turn to drugs, and 3 times as likely to turn to behaviors that result in HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. Today I shared with you 2 stories from a gay couple and a lesbian that I know, the differences of the types of unions and some laws denied, and the effect of negativity towards LGBT youth. There are sites you can go to show your support, such as freedomtomarry.org, equalityohio.org, and hrc.org. There is a quote I found when reading an article by Andrew Sullivan that I want to share with you. The right to marry whoever one wishes is an elementary human right. Even political rights, like the right to vote and nearly all other rights enumerated in the Constitution, are secondary to the inalienable human right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, proclaimed in the Declaration of Independence. And to this category, the right to home and marriage unquestionably belong. Hannah Arendt, 1959.